Geza is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Geza, I specifically told you I wanted a fucking burger.
Who do you think I am? Geza? Your mother? Go make your own fucking burger. Hey guys, I am a Geza too. Lady do.
Hey, it's the Geza. Kick his ass.
And kick his ass they did.
Howdy fellas, Jezza here, and I am suffering from a hiccup attack so bad. So, have you heard about the new Richard Dawson album? It's called 2020. I think he was a little impatient because it's still 2019. Richard Dawson is a very unique modern folk artist. I really got attached to him after I listened to Peasant back in 2017. It got me looking into his back catalog, which I equally enjoyed. And when this new album was announced, I was pretty darn excited. There was an evidently large stylistic shift, and I couldn't wait to see how that panned out. And now that it is released, I am more than satisfied. It's very close, but I think that this is marginally my favorite album from him now. Peasant and Nothing Important are both equally great albums, but I think 2020 just barely teeters over the edge for me. As I have mentioned, Richard Dawson is a very established folk artist, so this album being more of a full band rock sound is like new for him. Peasant had a pretty full sound too, but it wasn't like a band sound, it was more like a medieval group sound? But suddenly now there's electric guitars with distortion, some normal drums instead of a bunch of clapping and whatnot. There are many moments where synth melodies will pop up. Like the title seems to suggest, this is a pretty futuristic leap forward for Richard Dawson's music. Suddenly the lyrics and everything are super focused on the now. At the same time, there's a bit of a nostalgic feeling about this album. While the music itself isn't progressive rock, there's definitely some flavors of old progressive rock from the 70s thrown into this. You really get the taste of Genesis, some Animals era Pink Floyd, maybe some Rush. That subsection of progressive rock that's more focused on being cinematic or story-based. A lot of songs on this album have very satisfying climaxes. They switch from section to section, tempo to tempo. The music might really change up as soon as Richard Dawson actually starts singing. Overall though, this album sounds like what you would expect from Richard Dawson, just with a more artsy rock filter over it. The core components of his music are, and always have been, him and his guitar. Richard Dawson is a very interesting lyricist, and I don't just say that because of what he chooses to sing, but how he chooses to sing it as well. A lot of his lyrics, when you're reading them to yourself, don't really sound like they would be good song lyrics. He finds all sorts of weird ways to shape his lyrics, apply melody to them, put them in his songs. So he can sing about things like eating ready brek before going to work, getting fish and chips with his dad after a football game. Huge thing I need to mention as we get into the lyrics here, this album is British as fuck. Messy, I want you to put like, just big words. This album is British, and then British has the British flag. Richard Dawson spares no expense, absorbing what he and others around him are experiencing, summing up in a multitude of different ways what it's like to live in Great Britain right now. Even though I'm not there, and I don't personally feel that big of a connection to a lot of what he's singing, the music still makes it very easy to emphasize with just how things are going on over there. Though, to be fair, these lyrics aren't specific to England. While the first track, Civil Servant, very much describes a day going to work in England, with all kinds of specific British elements, hating having to get up and go to work, loathing your dead-end job is a pretty universally relatable thing. People cite UFOs pretty much everywhere, and Amazon is pretty much a global thing. So while a lot of specific elements of the lyrics are very indebted to England, I, as a Californian, still feel deeply enthralled by it. So I get to relate to the struggle of modern life, and I also get to enjoy the overseas nature of it. I'm guessing if you are English, this album's just that much better. So it's Richard Dawson, the songwriting's as great as ever, the lyrics are top notch, the style shift paid off very favorably, and this is one of the most unique albums in his catalog, which is already full of pretty unique albums. It's also, as per usual, a pretty consistent album from track to track. 2020 has an amazingly strong streak with its first 4 tracks. The 2 longer songs in the second half are also pretty good. They never feel like they overstay their welcome despite their length. And just like on Peasant, the closer's phenomenally good. Richard Dawson knows how to close an album with a very anthematic melody. I'm gonna have to give this album a 20 out of 20. Just kidding, that implies it's perfect, and I don't think it's perfect, but it's still pretty good, you should check it out. Definitely one of my favorites of the year, probably my favorite British album of the year. I mean, even if this isn't technically my favorite album to come from Britain this year, it's probably my favorite British album this year. You know, I was listening to the other day and it reminded me of my friend Max. Hello, Max. I've got your laptop, Max. It would be a shame if someone were to eat it. Richard Dawson. Richard Dawson is British, man. He's so British. He's a man.
McDonald's is a place to rock.
You think fun is funny?